It was really good to have Father George Guyver from Murfield with us today, and very interesting to hear his analysis of the way things are in our society at the moment. Not surprisingly, he talked about community, or rather the lack of it, how many people are self-referential and only bothered really about themselves these days, and refer everything in and through themselves, they don't look beyond themselves. And then he talked about the need of story being very important, and again, some overarching story that we might be part of, rather than simply our own stories that we make up for ourselves. So having said all that, then this notion of fidelity, which I think is a very interesting word to use, which again is about us being faithful to something else and to someone else. All of this based on this very interesting notion of a saying from one of the Desert Fathers who said that we don't build a house from the roof down, we build it from the foundations up.
I found George Guyver's talk really challenging. He talked to us about the importance of prayer, that society needs a strong church, and by which he meant strong not so much in financial terms or people terms, but in spiritual terms, a church that prays. And the phrase that he used that will stick with me is that phrase that prayer is the backbone of the church. And I think that's something that we can pick up and work on.
It's great to be here at this Way to Go event, because apart from anything else, it's reminding me that I am a disciple. And actually there's nothing more important about me in my Christian life than the fact that I am someone seeking to follow Jesus. Gathered here at the cathedral, we're hearing from each other about the ways in which our life of faith can grow. That means we can learn from others who are on the journey alongside us. I've been in a group who've been looking at material that can help us explore our discipleship together. And I'm looking forward to using that to help grow my own faith, but also help others to grow as followers of Jesus Christ.
Well, my name's Ellie Sheard, and I've been part of the planning for this Waymark event that we're holding today, and I'm really pleased with how it's been going so far. George Guyver gave us a really good talk this morning about how we could build our discipleship in the diocese, which is what we're all about doing with our whole way of life project. So Father George has challenged us as a diocese to be a praying people, and has pointed out to us how important this is for our society, because our society really has lost touch with the whole idea of prayer and about depth of spiritual life, which he has challenged us to try and develop through our parishes, through the diocese, as individuals, throughout our lives as the church. And I think that's really something that I shall take away from today.
And then finally, and again connected to that, George clearly went on to talk about the importance of prayer and how that can be put forward in our society today, and gave us in the diocese a challenge that I'd certainly like to respond to, of thinking about putting out to every single parish and every single church and community in our diocese the sense of saying, how do you say your prayers, and how can you say your prayers together with other people, and how can you make your prayer a key part of your balanced life, to ensure that in the busyness of your life you also properly put that balance of placing God where God should be all the time.